The graph below gives the information about cinema attendance in Australia between 1990 and the present, with projections to 2010. Summarise the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So you need to cover all the key features in this graph and say something about them. You need to mention all the age groups at some point, and you need to make reference to the years. But do not describe every single change on every year. You will lose marks for going into too much detail. So you're looking to describe the general trends. You basically need to be thinking in terms of writing 4 to 5 paragraphs. So the first paragraph is always an introduction to what you can see. So what you basically need to do here is look at the instructions, the graph below, and paraphrase all the information. So paraphrasing means saying the same information but in a different way. So you can use some of the words that are in there, but generally either change the sentence structure, change the order of information, or change certain words. Then your body paragraphs, so the second, third, and maybe fourth, you probably won't need more than 3 body paragraphs. Your 3 body paragraphs should be describing different aspects of the graph. So when you look at the graph, always see how can you divide this information into 2 or 3 different groups. In this graph, as you can see, you've got 4 different age groups, and then you've got 1990 to 2010. So we're looking at how can we divide this graph. Your final paragraph in task 1 is essential. You will get a low mark if you don't do this. You basically need to give just 1 or 2 lines stating the overall trend. So is something going up? Is something going down? What's the main thing that you can see? Let's look at a candidate's answer, and you might want to decide yourself. Have a little look at it and then decide what score you think you would give it. In order to do this, you might want to download the public descriptors, which are the categories by which the examiners will grade your work. Immediately, you can see it's organised into paragraphs, which is great. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. So look at the first paragraph. The graph shows percentages of cinema attendance at least once a year. So they've rephrased the question, which is good. They haven't copied. The first category that an examiner generally looks at is probably going to be task achievement. So how well have they answered the question? They've dealt with the youngest age group, and they talk about that the percentage has continued to stay high since 1990. And they also say it's predicted to remain high after 2006. So they've addressed the young age group, and they've addressed all the years since 1990 going up from 2006. So they've covered the key features of the years and the youngest age group. Then the second paragraph, they cover the middle age group, and they also cover the time as well, the time period. So the final body paragraph, they've addressed the third category of people, which is the oldest age group. And then finally, they've given an overview, which is essential. So a second category that you're going to be marked on is cohesion and coherence. Cohesion is just how well you're connecting your ideas together with linking words such as because, therefore, so. And coherence is how easy and clear your writing is. So in this category, we're looking at, are you writing in a good logical order? Are your paragraphs clear? Are you using different linking words to connect your ideas together? So looking at this, immediately you can see the candidate has got paragraphs, which is good. And they're well organised, so each paragraph has a different area. They've got some basic connectors like but and while in the middle paragraph, and but again in the final paragraph. So they've got some linkers, but not a wide range at all. We don't want to see words like and or but or so repeated. You're looking for words like despite, although, however, trying to change, furthermore, therefore, etc. So try not to repeat any connectors. We're also looking for ways to connect sentences together or ideas. So things like relative clauses. The third category is vocabulary. This candidate has got enough vocabulary to deal with the task, but it's actually quite limited. We've got the word high repeated quite a lot. In the second paragraph, very high. Next line, to keep the high. And then in the next paragraph, we've got higher. We've got increase, decrease, higher again. If you use increase once, use go up, or then use rise, or decrease, go down, fall. Try not to repeat vocabulary. Looking at the final category of grammar, the examiners are looking for a range of structures and also how correct or accurate your grammar is. This candidate has used the present perfect continuous, which is the wrong tense, all the way through. Have been going, has been keeping. They're talking about a time that's in the past. So they should be generally using the past simple. They're basically using quite simple sentences with some errors. There isn't really a range of structures. They're all quite simple sentences, subject, verb, object, conjunction. The examiner has said that the task itself has been fulfilled. The candidate has addressed the requirements of the task, but the overview, which is in the final paragraph, the overview could be a little bit more detailed or have a little bit more information. The candidate has used some connecting words like but it's not a wide range. The vocabulary is sufficient for the task, but the grammatical range is not wide enough. The candidate has tried to use complex sentences, but there's quite a lot of mistakes, especially when trying to talk about the figures or the numbers. What has prevented this from getting a 6 is the lack of control over the grammar.